Welcome to UNAM Chicago's CAFÉ EXPRESSO, a space for bilateral conversations with people from all walks of life. Tune in to Spanish Public Radio and follow us on social media. And now your host, Alberto Foncerrada.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Café Expresso. My name is Alberto Foncerrada, and I am your host. Café Expresso is a program of UNAM Chicago in alliance with Spanish Public Radio. You can also find us in Spotify as a podcast. Today, I'm very happy to welcome my friend who I used to work with pretty close during my tenure in the Mexican Embassy in Canada. And I met my guest a while ago. Welcome to my program, Georgina O Farrill. How are you?
Alberto, very nice to be here in this program. Very nice to be able to reconnect with you after some time.
This is wonderful. Georgina O Farrill, she is the Outreach and Partnerships Officer at the Commission for Environmental Cooperation. This is a very important position. She earned her bachelor's degree on zoology and animal biology from UNAM. She's a proudly UNAM. And she holds a PhD from McGill University. So yes, you are from UNAM. And how did you decide to study zoology?
I don't know. That's a good question, Alberto. I think it's from, when I was a kid, we're all being kind of out there in the park, looking at the insects and kind of the plants. I have to say that, biology was not my first kind of, profession that I wanted to do. Like every kid, at first I wanted to be a volcanologist. I really was kind of inspired by all the nature. And then it just took me, after, going to UNAM in that period where you have to decide, between geology, geography, and they ended up, in biology, always kind of taking into account kind of, not only the animals or the plants, but the connection with the environment. Like I've always been focusing on the whole kind of environment and the power of nature and the amazing world that we live in and that we need to conserve.
Oh, it's fascinating. And well, you would be happy to know that my program on sustainability, where I interviewed someone from UNAM, has been the most popular. We got more like around 7,000 viewers in YouTube. So you would be happy to know that environmental issues are really, the most demanded and popular, right? So Georgina, well, she holds a very high level position at the Commission for Environmental Cooperation. I know that this is part of the parallel agreements from NAFTA that they were created. I think it was 93 or 94. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do there, and just in broad terms, what is the mandate of the commission?
Yeah, sure. As you mentioned it, the CEC, the Commission for Environmental Cooperation, has its beginning in 1994. The CEC facilitates a cooperation and the public participation, to conserve and protect the environment of North America, of Mexico, Canada, and the US. As you will mention, it was kind of created, established as an intergovernmental organization, accordingly to the NAEC, to the side agreement of NAFTA. Since 2020, the CEC operates in accordance to the CUSMA in Canada, the USMCA in the US, or the TMEC in Mexico. And I can just tell you that, we work with three governments, we work with our North American region, we facilitate cooperation, we, develop tools, we share knowledge, and we provide kind of a space for the North American citizens and for decision makers to be able to cooperate and to work together.
That's fascinating. So how long have you been there? How long have you been working with them?
I've been working, for about 6 years now. After doing my PhD at McGill University, when I arrived to Canada directly from Mexico City, and then I did a postdoc. I then decided to kind of apply my skills and my knowledge in a different perspective. So I joined the CEC as a project lead for the Monarch butterfly projects. I think the CEC is, close to my heart. It's it's fit for me as a Mexican, as someone living, and a Canadian resident and citizen for some years now. And I had the opportunity to travel and live in the US too. So I think the CEC, it's a perfect fit for me. So I started as a project lead with the Monarch work. The CEC has been leading the way on the conservation of the monarch butterfly along its two flyways. So I had the opportunity to work with the ecosystems unit. And then a little bit more, a year and a half, I started working as the outreach and partnerships officer for the whole organization. This position and more the CEC values the different stakeholders, the different audience to whom we speak. As you can see right now, the people that are listening to us, they care about the environment and they want to know about what different organizations are doing. Part of my work is to foster these collaborations, to talk to people, to bring them to the CEC and kind of help them understand what we do, how we do it, how we work with our three governments, and certainly to foster these partnerships. I think this year and a half, we have learned the power of collaboration, the power of communication, even though we have been kind of secluded in our homes all around the world. These kind of interactions like we're doing today, you and me in two different cities, has opened a lot of ideas of how we can work together without being in the same place. So that's a lot of what I do, a lot of partnerships, a lot of, strengthening the work of the CEC and putting it out there for the people to learn about it, and also hearing from the people and just try to kind of, bring them to the CEC and to help them in one way or another, so that everyone can all do our little actions to protect the environment.
Oh, wow, that is amazing. I was going to ask you how the pandemic has affected your work. I know that everybody has to adapt, and it's different. You got to reach out through Zoom, and you got tons of Zoom meetings. But how has it affected you personally, and in terms of your work?
Personally, I think, nobody can say this has not been easy. As a mother, I have, two daughters, that go to school. It's been tough on them, and it's been tough to see them go through a pandemic for sure. So we had to adapt a lot, the way we work, where we work. In terms of, my professional life, it has been good and bad. Good because we do travel. We have meetings in different, cities in the three countries, in the US, Mexico, and Canada. Just having the opportunity to meet and for everyone to be open, for these online meetings has increased our reach. It has increased our capacity to speak to different audiences. We've been having, webinars or calls with people from Europe, from other parts of the world that normally they would not join a meeting because that would just mean a lot of traveling, a lot of cost. So we have been kind of feeling the good and bad. Obviously, we miss always a room full of people when they have kind of this safe environment to be 2 hours or 3 or 2 days, closed doors, talking about how to promote and foster the cooperation between three countries. That always good, as your kind of, your program well stated, with a cup of coffee, it's always easier kind of, sometimes to foster this work together. So even though in Zoom, or, online, we can do it, it's not as smooth as if you were just in a hallway, just having a cup of coffee with a colleague, and then this, like great idea might come out. So it has been good and bad on both sides, but, definitely looking forward to have, more in-person meetings. But just we learned to adapt. We've learned to be more resilient. That's what, we learn from the environment too, that we have to keep up with the environment and be more resilient also with the environment. So I think we as human beings, we have learned a lot from this year and a half.
Oh, absolutely. We have to adapt. For those of you who just logged in or who are tuning on Spanish Public Radio, I'm having a conversation with Georgina O Farrill. She's the Outreach and Partnerships Officer at the Commission for Environmental Cooperation. Georgina, I know one of the most beautiful projects that where the three countries work together is the one that has to do with the monarch butterfly. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about it? What does it mean to you and working on this project, which brings together three countries in a beautiful way?
I think that the monarch butterfly, it's an emblematic species, and I think people recognize that, the monarch migration, speaks to three countries. And that's what the CEC is all about. It's our three countries. For those that don't know it, the monarch migrates from Mexico through the US to Canada and then backwards. It's a very interesting and fascinating migration. It's it depends on the three countries. If there was just an effort by one of the three countries and not the other two, the migration will not be possible, and the conservation of these species wouldn't make it. So it speaks a lot about three countries, three different ways of working. The monarch overwinters in Mexico, in the central states of Mexico, and then migrates through the US. There's a corridor of milkweed, important for the monarch butterfly caterpillars and to feed them for the different generations. And then they arrive to Canada, where they need like some habitat to live. They need resources to live, and then they go back to Mexico. So it's an interesting phenomenon that speaks about every action counts. Every citizen is important in the conservation of this species, and definitely everyone in North America should care about this super emblematic species.
Absolutely, I totally agree, and it's kind of like it's emblematic of integration, right? Nothing more emblematic of integration than this wonderful work, and I commend the commission for that. That is wonderful. I actually met Georgina when I was working for the Mexican Foreign Ministry, and we worked together on the Talents Network. So I can see the passion that you have for these issues. It's very contagious, and I really want to commend you for all the work you do. Is there anything you want to add before we close?
I think I want to thank you, Alberto, for this opportunity. It's very nice to kind of reconnect with all colleagues, with all friends. And I think I just want to say that, invite people to visit the CEC website to learn of the work that we do. We work on different projects, related to extreme events, to food waste, to marine litter. We work with youth. We have a traditional ecological knowledge expert group, indigenous communities. So the CEC is there to be kind of, the organization that could speak on behalf of the environment for the three countries. We want people to learn about what we do, but certainly we want people to come and let us know what are they concerned about. I'm passionate about the environment. I've always been. I'm passionate about youth, and I'm definitely passionate about communicating what we do and how we can make our world a little bit better for future generations. Thank you very much, Alberto, and I'll be very happy to kind of stay connected with you and with your audience if there's more questions in the future.
Absolutely, wonderful work, and I am sure we will connect again, and we hopefully will do some work together with UNAM and the CEC. And again, Georgina, very, very nice to see you. Congratulations again. I'm happy we had this chance to connect, and I will see you again sometime soon. To my audience, my name is Alberto Foncerrada. I am your host at Café Expresso. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Muchas gracias.